apparently that snake, if you touch
its teeth,
yes,
fangs.
its teeth, its fang, you can literally die from that. Wow. And she was putting that on her waist and eat it. Like, it's kind of funny, but it's just show how insane the communists like did to everybody. And that brings us to the reason why we have tarantula. And you know, the funny thing is, like, normal people, like people that live in Cambodia, we don't actually eat tarantula for lunch. So it's very much a delicacy and pretty much for foreigners.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So people aren't just, they're not bringing a tarantula in their lunchbox. Yeah, but that's the reason, right? Because people are so starving that they had to.
If it moves, you just eat it because you have nothing to eat.
Welcome back. We have some bonus content from our episode with Nica about her stories from Cambodia before she came here and became a citizen. Hope you guys enjoy.
No, okay. So Nica, just reflecting back on all of the really surreal experiences, the really traumatic, hard, devastating experiences that your family have, are there any stories that stick out to you that maybe you would help people understand a little bit better, kind of the horrors of communism, the horrors of the tyranny that you all experienced?
Yes. There was a story my grandmother told us. So, you know how Cambodia has like that killing field where the majority of the killing happened. There's rooms full of skull, like 20 floor, you know? And then there's also this prison that located in the middle of Phnom Penh. It's called Tuol Sleng prison. So basically, my grandmother said that she was arrested and being put in this Tuol Sleng prison. She was arrested and being put in this Tuol Sleng prison. And she mentioned that it was so bad. She didn't have any food to eat. She was starving and she was so skeleton skinny to the point where she was chained by like a cuff on her ankle. She was so skinny to the point where her whole feet would slip out of that cuff and she could escape.
Wow.
But the crazy thing is that she can't escape because there's literally no energy left. It was very, soldiers with gun all around. She can't escape. So it's crazy that she literally had, she was so skinny to the point where her ankle could slip out of the cuff, but she can't run away. So that was just like a horrible thing. And I remember there's a scar. It was still a scar on her ankle.
And it's just unreal that this was happening less than 100 years ago, less than 75 years ago.
Yes.
My
grandmother was born in the 1958. So she would have been probably 60-ish by now. She passed away due to a medical reason around COVID time, 2019. But that story kind of stuck with me a lot because she grew up very tough. She basically start from scratch when the war broke out. When the war ended, she start from scratch. And she supported my family and I. She helped all her 5 siblings. She was the oldest, so it was very tough. And she went through all that, but she was the strongest woman I know.
Wow, what a role model.
Wow, that's amazing. And I know there's something you mentioned a little bit earlier is kind of these weird foods, like non-traditional cuisine you shared with us before the episode that people eat in Cambodia. And I think it's easy for other countries to look at things like eating tarantula or eating snakes or that sort of thing. Seems like, why would someone ever do something like that? But there's a reason, right?
Yes, and I can talk about that for a little bit. So you know how I mentioned that when people were in the Khmer Rouge and they got put in the agriculture and farming, like that they couldn't even eat a single pea that they were harvesting. So imagine you're living in that situation. And so whatever move is what you eat. Literally, they told me that. Like, if it moves, you can eat it. So like they ate literally tarantula, cricket, even like some maggot. Like, they would eat that too. Wow. So snake. I can tell you a very funny story that my grandma told me too. Just kind of lighten the mood up a little bit. She's basically during one point during the Khmer Rouge, she found a snake and she smacked the snake head on like a rock and killed it. And then she basically put the snake on her like around her waist area, and then her skirt like kind of roll to hide that snake.
So that the guards wouldn't see?
Yes.
Wow. So she could take it and eat it, basically.
She basically like grill it or something. Like, but she cooked that snake. And then the next day, everybody else, they found a skull of that snake. They were like, oh my God, who ate this very venomous snake? Apparently, that snake, if you touch
its teeth, fangs.
Its teeth, its fang, you can literally die from that. Wow. And she was putting that on her waist and eat it. Like, it's kind of funny, but it's just show how insane the communists like did to everybody. And that brings us to the reason why we have tarantula. And the funny thing is, like, normal people, like people that live in Cambodia, we don't actually eat tarantula for lunch. So it's very much a delicacy and pretty much for foreigner.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So people aren't just, they're not bringing a tarantula in their lunchbox. But that's the reason, right? Because people are so starving that they had
basically,
to.
if it moves, you just eat it because you have nothing to eat. They barely give you any food. It's literally watered down porridge. Like porridge is already watered down. So imagine you have like 5 grains of rice and then like water. Wow. And you have to line up. Oh, and they dye all your clothes to black because they don't want any personality or anything. Oh, wow. I forgot to mention that. But
that is such a central principle of communism, is making sure everybody's the same.
Yeah. Yes. And it starts very sneaky. So that's why I really like how America have freedom of, religion, freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms. It's just, maybe you don't agree with this freedom because of, something happened or you just have a different opinion. But like, that doesn't mean that this freedom shouldn't exist, Because if you were born or if you grew up, if you were in a time of, communist control or socialism in Cambodia, you would really appreciate how much these freedom could really mean. Like, imagine you can't have long hair. I mean, I like this hair. And I've had long hair before. Yeah. But imagine if like you aren't allowed to have long hair, you aren't allowed to have makeup. They dye all your clothes black, your pants, same shoes. Like, they give you a little scarf. That's why if you go visit a museum about Khmer Rouge, you will see that uniform.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, literally. Even just the snake story, like the fact that your grandmother had to hide a venomous snake so the soldiers wouldn't take it away and she was going to eat it, that just really puts everything in perspective. And I know you said earlier how we should all be grateful, and that's definitely a story that, kind of illustrates that.
And something that
snake story.
Something that really stands out to me about the Khmer Rouge and kind of how it really is not talked about it. Like, I only know about it because I know someone who grew up in Cambodia. But most people who are listening are probably hearing this for the first time, that this genocide even happened. So I can't help but wonder if even like socialists and communists in the United States try to put that narrative down. They try to like suppress the story of the Khmer Rouge because they want to protect communism. It just makes you wonder kind of the motivations of people who don't tell that story.
Yeah, I guess that could be the reason, especially if someone spoke up about it, but the media kind of control how far that will reach the general public. And another reason that could also kind of not allow this story to be very well published or anything, it's probably because this happened very recent. Like our grandmothers, our grandparents, they're still, they were the victim.
Right.
They're
People
still alive.
The
and
generation
healthy.
is still
Yes.
alive. Yeah.
So I think it's just the fact that it was so insane that you just like don't want to talk about it. So a lot of it's also because of that. Like, it's too painful to where you don't talk about it. And I feel like I started opening up about it because I got introduced to like the conservative community. And I feel like I have a place to share that to where I don't feel like I'm digging up the past for somebody. Because a lot of family lost, like, you know, a lot of people lost their family, like actually. And for me, unfortunately, my immediate family, who's like my grandmother's family, they're all, at least the one that I know, like the immediate one, they were able to make it out. But I don't think we ever talk about like my grandfather family at all. Like never. I don't even know like who they all are. Wow. Yeah. And also he's been there. He's been in the US for a while. So we weren't like very, very close to where, like physically we weren't close to where we were able to share those stories. So yeah, it's just very crazy. And I remember at University of Houston, I created a Cambodian Student Association. And I remember one of my goal when I was starting this organization is that I want to have a speaker maybe once a semester to talk about their experience. But it was actually harder
to find someone.
Yes. It was so close. It's like one of like my VP grandfather was in it, but like it would be like hurtful to ask him to speak. So we never did any speaker.
It's too painful.
Yes. So, you know, I do appreciate when I get the opportunity to talk about these stories. It's very close to heart. And I like to believe that communism is like a nightmare, you know? It's gone. At least, you know, a nightmare is that you wake up. But it's actually not. Because it's still here. And so it's just like, why is it here, you know? You saw what it did to these countries. You saw what socialism did to these countries. Like, why is it still around? You know? I just feel like people need to wake up to really see the effect of communism and the effect of socialism. And to just like really prioritize being grateful, working hard, being smart, you know, about like money and everything, being very intentional with your life, you know, make sure you have like some kind of like morals and stuff so you can set yourself up for success and not make really like irrational decision that put you in a place that now you think communism is the next best thing that you can do, you know? Because, I mean, I don't know why all these people really think that communism or socialism is the way, because it's like, oh, we and not I. But like, it's actually not you, not we. It's just a group of people that like we to you, you know?
Right.
But it's not really, because you didn't get to talk. You didn't get to say what you want to say. You didn't even get to keep your hair long. You didn't even get to like put makeup. You know, imagine that. Like, so it's just very, you know, very sneaky that they're pushing these agendas that like, oh, you know, if you hate the millionaires because they don't pay a lot of taxes like they're supposed to, then, you know, take their money. Like, what if you happen to work hard and become a millionaire? Would you want your money to be taken away? And like, it's a country that's free, you know? So I just feel like people need to just work hard and make good decisions, live in a life of like guidance, and just, that way you can set yourself up for success and not think that communism and socialism is your way out to a decent life, because it's not. It's never been a way, and it's proven so many times. So I feel like people need to wake up.
Yeah, I think part of that is definitely manipulation.
Yes, they just show you the good part.
Right, but people, like you said, need to wake up and do a little history lesson and learn a little bit. And it hasn't ever worked. So
and it never will. Yeah, it's just fantasy.
Yeah, despite everything, capitalism is still the best form of everything, like economic and stuff. Because at least it gives you the freedom. No government like say no to you in a way that's like suppress or like oppress you or anything. Usually it's just the law to make sure everyone's protected, to make sure, because a land with law is always better than a land without like law. Because socialism is like, oh, there's no rule, you just do this and this. That's basically the rule. So it's always, I want at least, especially the young generation, because I feel like, when you grow up, you don't get the opportunity to be like working and stuff or have everything. So you're kind of in like a well. And then when you see, how socialism give you this, this, and this, you just be like, oh wow, I want that. But at the same time, I want them to really see their potential. Like, if they work hard and if they learn, they be educated and stuff, they can be even better and they can create a life for themselves, not to just wait for someone to create a life for them. Because then they can actually choose, how well they're going to live that life. And so ultimately it's just, be educated and being grateful.
I love that. So many good nuggets of wisdom there. I think you should do some immigration policy. You should teach a class on civics. I love it. Well, thank you, Nica. We appreciate it so much. And I hope that you all learned something about Cambodia, something about the dangers of communism. I know that on campuses, this message is so important. Yes. So I hope people will continue sticking to fighting that and fighting just the dangers that socialism and communism bring. That is everything. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. But thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, you'll find us on any platform you find your podcasts, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much.